The foundation of all great design work is curating a high-quality visual library of design assets and inspirations that you can draw from whenever you need to create a new presentation, brand, website, or application. Follow Picasso's advice. Good artists copy, great artists steal. Try to avoid starting with a blank page. Go see what the top designers are doing. Take loads of screenshots and then remix them into your own work. The internet is an ocean of inspiration, so make the most of it. This is how I manage my visual library. I invest at least a few hours each week doing online research. I have a folder for market research screenshots, a folder for UX product inspiration screenshots, a folder for icons and graphics, a folder for high-resolution photos, and finally a folder for my favorite fonts. For market research, I go digging on Google, Facebook groups, Twitter streams, conference speaker lists, competition award lists, Quora, Angel lists, curated forums, and so on. I don't just search for startups, but also influential people in my target market and see what they are tweeting and following. I make a habit of screenshotting everything, as you never know when a website might change its design. When taking a web page screenshot, I use Command-Shift-4 and include the URL. Then I instantly add it to my market research inbox folder. In some cases, I also paste the URL into an Evernote with a one-liner description of relevant keywords and projects. In my weekly research time, I also browse for great web and mobile interfaces. Sometimes the best product inspirations can be found in an app or website that has nothing to do with your market. The best site for icons and illustrations and logo inspiration for me is Dribbble with 3 Bs. Other websites are the Noun Project, Visually, Pictochart, Canva, Patterns without the A, Unmatched Style, Awards, and Design Bombs. When curating your icons, graphics, and illustrations, I encourage you to stick to minimal designs. Certain types of graphics with flat design are much easier and faster to redraw and remix. I will go into this in more detail later when I cover the basics of using Illustrator and Photoshop. Probably my most useful design folder is the Backgrounds folder, where I save all the high-resolution photos that I find on the web. There is a great website called unsplash.com that lists photos without any IP or copyright restrictions. If you are a bit cheeky like me, you can also use the left-click Inspect Element tool to grab images from other websites too. The best place to download free fonts, in my experience, is fontsquirrel.com. Once you have downloaded your fonts, you need to paste those font files into your computer's font library, and then those fonts will magically appear in all your programs, such as Keynote, Word, Illustrator, and Photoshop. The last point I want to make when it comes to building your visual library is to use the Finder sidebar and also the column view. This will save you loads of time organizing all your screenshots and saving images directly from the web. Ultimately, the goal is to make this process of continuously adding to your visual library an unconscious habit. Right, now on to working with Photoshop and Illustrator. The best way to learn is to start by watching this introductory video all the way through, taking a few notes as you go. Then you can watch it again, this time pausing to complete the following tasks: downloading Illustrator and creating a new document, adjusting your preferences and laying out your workspace, importing and tracing over images like the Fox example, challenging yourself to download a font and use it to create a logo and some business cards, and finally exporting graphics and diagrams using artboards. I have provided a collection of ready-to-go working files and a keyboard shortcut page that you can download and use to get started. Right, let's get started. 5 years ago, I learned how to use Illustrator and Photoshop the hard way, by suffering through hours of painfully tedious Lynda videos that explain every single Adobe feature very slowly and repetitively. Photoshop and Illustrator have literally thousands of features. 90% of those features are either so obvious they don't need to be explained, or they are so specialist that you'll probably never even need to use them. My goal is to show you the stuff that really matters. The first point to cover is the difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. Photoshop